Cool. So welcome for this first Unleashed podcast for Alicia. So this podcast is all about the streamers of Alicia's community, their journey as a streamer, but also as Alicia's user. So today we will be the host of the channel. So Jelab here is not just a friend; he's also one of the creators of Alicia. And on top of that, he was my mentor when I started streaming. So, how are you doing, Jalab?
Well, I'm good, happy to be there. I guess it's my turn to introduce you as well. So, I think even if you're called AI Alicia on screen, everyone knows you here as Papa, even though no one has been able to say the name in one go in history.
It's a problem.
And yeah, we've been good friends for a while, and I would say I was for a long time the person helping you on your streaming, going through all your saxophone journey, which was more pleasant toward the end. And yes, I was there when you started creating Alicia, so it's been quite a ride so far.
Cool. Do you want to introduce our first guest?
Yes, so our first streamer is a streamer that has become my personal favorite lurk channel during the afternoon work. And with Alicia, I've discovered a lot of afternoon stream, trust me. Serial Face Melter with his sick grooves, proud owner of Infinity many guitar pedals and physical records, best triangle player on Twitch, builder of the Tower of Love and leader of the Plectrons, is known on Twitch as Jerfo the Music Addict. How are you doing today, Jerfo?
Hi, friends. It's so great to see both of you. I'm doing great. So great to see you. So great to be here.
Perfect. And now it's on to our next guest. So he's a creative force who not only mesmerizes with music, but also do visual magic. Joining us is Dead Side Blues. So he's a singer, guitarist, and the artist mind behind Alicia's visual. So you can see here specifically our wonderful logo. So I love him for that. And I am thrilled to have him today, not only because of our countless of hours chatting and drinking most of the time, but also because I'm proudly counting myself among the groupies of his band, the Hell Music Committee. So I'm eager to listen a bit more, like if anything is coming new at some point. How are you doing today, DSB?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. That was quite an introduction, Yuba. I'm saying Yuba. This is actually the first time when Nico said it that I heard it, like when Jalab said it, that I heard it like for real said. So stoked for that and glad to be here. So yeah, man, thank you.
People usually call me Yuba. It's a bit easier, and also it's a real name. The Yuba Papa is mainly because Yuba was taken. So, so that's how it is. That's it. Cool. Do you want Nico?
Yes, let's get started. I think, well, we've given some introduction, but I think it would be nice to really dive into who you are as streamers. And I guess my first question is really how it all started. So, Jerfo, could you tell us when you started? When did you start streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, sure. So I think this is probably the case for a lot of folks, where it kind of all started during the pandemic, where you know there were a lot of us musicians were looking for something to do, some sort of creative outlet in a time where there wasn't any external outlet to be had. There was no gigging that was happening. And there was I needed some way to express myself musically, and especially for me, that was actually still at the time I was still working a day job, so to speak, and the Twitch and live streaming, but eventually Twitch sort of became my outlet for expressing music, and I just grew to fall in love with it.
Understandable. A lot shares the same story. Even though it wasn't like my first job to be playing music, it was definitely one of the first love.
Yeah.
How
yeah,
was
I
it
think.
Oh, yeah, Nico?
Yeah, I feel like pandemic has been a Kickstarter for a lot of people of discovering new ways of sharing their, in the case, music. But I guess for just streaming, a lot of people started streaming around that time. Yeah, maybe DSB, if you want to share also your story of starting on Twitch.
It's not that different. I like to call it the streamer gold rush, which is exactly the COVID thing. My story is the same. I was getting bored to death, and then Twitch just came along, and then I was like, holy shit, you can do music here? And I was like, all right, so I know what I'll do during this, quite confined time, right? Actually, it helped me a lot to like stream during those, and I think maybe you felt the same, and some of the viewers felt the same, like that. It felt like it really hit the right spot, like the right amount of community and communication in a time where a lot of the physicals were removed, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, I got hooked on it instantly, right?
Yep. I'm curious to know, like, how was this, like, let's just take, for example, the first week or the first 2 weeks on streaming. So my personal experience was kind of, first I did it just for fun, but also like you start having some stress about it. Like it's a different thing. I used to gig quite a lot, so I was playing with bands, etc. But doing this live on Twitch, where it's like you don't get the same connection, you don't have the same reaction. How was it for you, Jeff? If you want to start.
Yeah, so it was definitely tough at first. So I mean, in fairness, when I started streaming, I started simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube. So I'd have the Facebook friends popping in, and I had, a decent number of YouTube subscribers already, and a handful would pop in from time to time. But I said, you know what, I should probably explore this like dedicated live streaming platform of Twitch. Those streams were quiet as heck to start off with, and that was kind of a little unnerving at first. Like, just, is anybody actually hearing you? Is anybody enjoying it? Like, am I even live? This was just kind of the feeling at first. Then it wasn't until like a few streams in, I got my first raid, and I had no idea what had just happened. I remember looking at chat, and chat being like, does he even know he's been raided? And I'm like, I know. I was like terrified, because it was like 150 people. I'm used to streaming to 2, and it was 150 people. I was, yeah. So that's kind of like, that kind of kickstarted everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a similar things with the first raid. I literally got paralyzed. So I was like, but actually Jalab was in the chat. He was handling it.
Yeah, I guess that's the reaction. You just freeze and wait until people leave, and then you're back to the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the 2 number. How was it for you in DSB?
I think it was kind of wild. I don't know about you guys, but I've been on Twitch like for many years before that, just like checking out a game. That was it, and it was like,
yeah,
just like really quick. So I had no idea how the chat relations worked and all, like, what is a raid and what does all these command means. I did not know how it worked. So it was a wild experience. And then it's like,
same,
like getting those, like having those chat names kind of be chat names at first, and then the same names pop up and you kind of have conversations. Like the first time that interaction kind of takes place, you're like, oh, now I'm kind of getting it. And I've never been like a live person before, like that, like interacting with live streams. So this was kind of the first time, and now it's like, there's no doubt in my mind, all my chatters are like fully fledged human beings, and I feel like I have a clear picture of like how some of them really would be to meet, and that's like mind blowing to me, right?
Yeah.
It's like having like how it must be to have a pen pal in the olden times, and then like just like explode that with like 1,000 millions, right?
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a big thing, specifically as you said, like the returning time, where for Like you start streaming, you've seen a name, then a week later, the same name coming in, and you start having some sort of kind of knowledge about each other that basically build up with time. And this is, I think, it's what basically makes Twitch interesting. I would say we have someone in chat, which is also a key element in your channel, DSB. Massey's here. Hello, Massey. So I remember like having someone in chat, which was for Mijolab again, but having someone to basically help you, like setting up everything, understanding what's going on, etc. I'd say it was quite something.
Yeah, I feel like the entry barrier for Twitch streaming can be difficult because there's the technical side of, well, setting up a live stream. And when you do music, there's more fun coming in of making sure that, well, if I play guitar, would the guitar sound be on my stream or not? And then you have all these tools to set up and all these things. And then you feel like, okay, I've done the most difficult part. I'm live, people can hear me. And then it's about creating that community, which is, I would say, the second difficult step, or I would say reality check on how streaming is. Can be easy, everyone can do it. And that's where I would say, for me, it was difficult when I started a very long time ago.
He's old, guys. Like
yeah, I started streaming in 2014, so it was...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're just like young guys there.
Back then. But it was different times, you know. I was streaming, no camera, no microphone, nothing. I was just playing games. There had people coming and chatting, and it was fine. But it was also, I don't think Discord existed because I think I was still using Skype. Wow, that makes me feel old. But it was. I don't think I have any connection left with those people, even when I stream right now. Now I've seen community. People leave, new people join, and have this kind of rotation of people. And I guess that's also where it's, for me, I think it's difficult to build that community and really make sure that they will come back to your streams, especially over a longer period of time.
Yeah. And the regularity as well, like kind of breaks down very quickly. That's at least my experience on that. But I think we can, I mean, I don't want to talk about for you on this, but I know it's kind of a shared feeling, like whenever you take a holiday break or something like this, coming back is always,
Yeah, and just like now that the gold rush has ended and people aren't confined to their old homes, like that regularity that I kind of started with is completely different today than it was in like where everybody in the world couldn't go outside, right? So like it's kind of like reinventing yourself. I think like many people kind of maybe feel that like when they need to go out into the world after this like tumultuous time, and then now we need to figure out how much do we want to be on Twitch and how much do we want to like, how does it all work together with having a life where you are free again, right? And that's pretty cool, like kind of figuring out where we're going from here. And like, do you even want to stream after COVID? I mean, I'm still here, so that must be an answer for me, right? But that kind of speaks to this platform, I think, right? That even though now I can go out and play live gigs, I kind of still want to have this space. Like it's not like exchangeable with live gigs. This is something different.
It is, yeah.
It's some things that I've seen with a lot of musicians on Twitch during the period, specifically 20 to 2022. Some of them, and I would say about like maybe 30%, 40%, just like ditch Twitch as a regular streaming experience. Like it just went for like once every month or something like this, and back full time directly on gigging, which basically it's also a more stable business in a sense. Like if you're a musician, professional musician, Twitch is not like the easiest to kind of explore as much. I think Jeff, for you know that quite well, but
very well.
Yeah. There is another thing I'd like to just come back on it before we move on. There is one element which has been discussed with a lot of different people, which is basically the viewership, like specifically the counts. A lot of different advice around that, but I was wondering how it is for you to not be too affected during your streams. I'm just giving you an example, but when I'm streaming, for example, you get like, for example, the rush where it's starting to go up and then it goes down, but it has almost a direct link between the energy that you will have, specifically if you stream for like 2 hours. You're already tired, but having like the enthusiasm with people, it keeps you going. But having like this element, so now I'm starting to just like I hide it. I don't want to see it, but it's, yeah, I know it sticks to my mind. I don't know how it has been for you guys.
Yeah, for me, I've had to hide my viewer count, because I would find that when I had a stream when viewership was low, like my energy was definitely down with it. And if I wanted to keep my energy relatively consistent from stream to stream, I had to kind of hide that information from myself. Yeah. Because that really shouldn't be the limiting factor on, you know, what kind of performance I deliver. I should try my best to deliver, you know, the energy every day, regardless of who's watching. And you'll find that, like, I feel like the best streamers out there are the ones who can do that, like, every day. It doesn't matter what their viewer count is, they bring it every single day. So that's, I've had to hide the viewer count in an attempt to kind of get to that point. And then there'll be some streams where, like, I'll brought the energy and I feel like chat's been lively and I thought I killed it, and then I'll raid out with a small number of people. I'll be like, come on, man. Come on.
Hiding it is a good solution, at least. I mean, I feel you on that.
Yeah. What about you, DSB?
I think, like, I've been through many stages through these last 3 years of having a Twitch channel. There was a period where I was like really growth oriented and like really wanted it to expand my audience, and in those periods it's kind of the worst, because like it's hard to not conflate viewer numbers with what you put in it. And I think, to me, like, it kind of took some of the joy of streaming out of it, because like I was having expectations, and like growing is to me like really like it doesn't have to be a number, but it took me a long while to figure that out. And now I might be too little growth oriented, so now I'm like kind of stalling in some ways, but I'm having the blast, the time of my life with it, and I'm kind of feeling like that's more important. Yeah. And so in the beginning, I was very focused on the numbers, but now I'm like, I look at them and sometimes I think they're low, and if I think they're low, then I could just like do some more about it. That's how I personally feel about it, because I'm like, I am a bit lazy in like doing my socials and stuff. So to me, like, and like getting settled into that mindset where it's like we can do some, to me it's more of a playful area as well. So like I'm not growth oriented, but that means that I can do whatever I want. And like that's the freedom of having your own personal TV station, right? You can like kind of experiment with it. And I felt like when I was most growth oriented, I didn't have that luxury. It didn't feel like I had that luxury. Like then I would do something and then I would hope that I could see the result in the viewer count, right? But I'm thinking, to me, like that was too narrow of a way of perceiving it, right? But it's not easy, right? And it's not easy separating those things. But now I feel pretty comfortable of where I'm at.
It's a thing where, at least again to me, I would rather that have like less viewers, but more chats where I can just interact with people, and like people I know, people I don't know. It's just literally just the fact that you can sit down and have a chat with people, interact, knowing what they think, or having like some jokes or private jokes that has been building up on the channel. I mean, now that I'm trying at least to not watch too much the numbers, but I felt it was more important. Like even when I looked it up on some experience with Reds, where I could get like a Red of 150 people, but I will have like 3 or 4 that will be stay active in chat after. And it's like, how is that possible in a sense? In my mind, it was like 150 people and you have like 2 or 3 people that want to chat. And specifically, I think it's because I wasn't as familiar with the Twitch community before I started with. But there is actually a lot of just people putting it as more like a TV in a sense. Like you put it on, you watch it, but you don't interact in chats. Where it was kind of a surprise at first, where to me every time I was going to a channel, I was like, "Oh, I want to chat," and I'm like, "No, okay, it's not the common sense there." So
yeah, there are so many Twitch channels. It's difficult to engage in chat in every one of them. Like even if I've done some cleanup in the follows I have, and I can just keep channels where I know I go, it's still like maybe 50 channels. And I can't just go there and start engaging with every stream that I have in my follow list, or even choosing your stream, over the other 49 streams that are live at the same time. It's a choice, and that's where there is always this disconnection between follower counts, which can be high or low, or doesn't matter. It's just that it will not automatically translate into this average viewership you will get. Like I see sometimes channel, they have the same amount of followers as me, like 300 something, and they will have 20 viewers every time they stream. Looking at that, how is that possible? When I start my stream, I have 5, maybe 10 on the good days, and then it will come back to closer to 1. But then I will go to another channel where I have 3,000 followers and they are like 100 viewers. Like, okay, that's big. And then you go to another channel where viewership is lower. So it's difficult. And I guess that's where these numbers, they're really hurting in some way.
Yeah.
Because you see all these articles telling you, hey, you have to do more. You have to do more stream, do more social, do more things to be able to grow those numbers. You do that, you kind of see growth. Sometimes you don't see the growth, but you see this growth in your follower count, you see your viewership grows a bit, and then at some point you don't know what happened, and then things get stale, or you have more followers but start getting less viewers, and it feels like all this hard work you've put in just didn't matter much. And I think that's where the numbers, I think it's really hurting from the streamer experience, but really from the mental health point of view as well.
Yep, no doubt.
Well said.
Yeah.
So it's actually one of the link where basically, specifically on the chat activity, you've been following what we've done with Alicia for 6-8 months. I don't know. We are in August, so I think Dan, DSB for you it's 8 months, and for you 6 months, right, Jeffo?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has been quite a journey since a lot of different changes, but yeah, I was wondering, like, at first when you discovered Alicia, what was kind of the hope, or what was the thing you were thinking, like, looking back at it?
Yeah, so I discovered Alicia on Tonecaster's channel, and for those of you not familiar with Tonecaster is an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
He started out hanging out in my channel before he was even streaming, and he posted a video on my Discord of one of his original tunes, and I'm like, dude, this is phenomenal. So, like, he started streaming. I'm so glad that he did, and I think I enjoyed the interactions with Alicia in his channel back then, especially because he's not a big personality or anything like that. So I think Alicia really helped to kind of bring out a little bit more personality in the channel, and allowed him to focus more on, like, his guitar playing, where he absolutely excelled. So that was, I saw that, and I thought, well, hey, I have a crap personality. I should have some AI in my channel too.
You're hard on yourself.
But no, in all seriousness, it's a few things. So, obviously, like AI is like one of the technological hot buttons these days. So, of course, like being on, kind of the bleeding edge of that is probably a good thing. But also, it is currently a differentiator in your stream, because not a lot of people have anything like this on their channels currently. So it's a significant differentiator. And as I've told you guys before, there's some days when like it's tough to bring that energy, and to have something that is there every day in chat and is able to contribute in whatever way that you kind of want her to contribute, like that's a huge advantage to have as a streamer.
Yeah. DSB.
Yeah, I mean, how did I find out about it? I mean, I was at your place, right?
I think so. It was during the marathon streams where you watched me pilot a Concorde between Bordeaux and New York.
Yeah, you're playing a Microsoft flight simulator.
Yeah.
And then there was this like stewardess co-pilot person already telling you when the toasts were done.
Yeah.
It was very weird. And so I was intrigued, right? and I remember like we had a lot of fun with that on that stream, and I was like, and you asked me if you could try it out if you want, and I was like, yes, I would love to see how that, like having like a lazy roadie next to you while you stream, that sounds like an amazing, like, or a bass player who forgot his bass, so you can only like be sitting on the sidelines. I was like, that could be awesome. And for me, really, like there's like this aspect of like I'm having Macy first in chat, and she's my mod, and she handles my community really well, and I think like they are blabbermouth, like they can talk amongst themselves. That's no problem. But the cool thing when Alicia is there is that she might say something that's pretty weird. and my chatters will pick up on that, and then suddenly we will have conversations about stuff that we wouldn't have other than that. Is that right? Beach Cover says it's right. 1,000% right. And Macy as well. Thank you guys. Like, I feel like that is a beautiful, really fun thing. And I mean, like, the thing that I really want to be better at is like talking about stuff a bit more fluently, but sometimes it takes like an outlandish comment from Alicia to get me like kind of started, and then we can laugh about how like weird that was. They're talking about Bunny Bear. There was about a time when Alicia thought I was talking about Bunny Bear, Canadian folk musician. I do some covers by him, and Alicia at that time, she was kind of like summarizing what's been happening on stream, and she was not getting it. She was like, he said something about this and that, and then he's trying to tell us that Bunny Bear is a great band, like whatever that means. And it was amazing, right? Since then, it's a whole other story, but like just like the summarizing function, it's like a real person. Like you can talk with somebody and ask them to summarize what you're saying. They'll say some weird shit as well, right? And look at that. Bunny Bear is here to stay. Look at that. Alicia is standing her ground.
Oh yeah, she won't change.
She ain't gonna correct that. No, but those kind of things are funny, right? And I really enjoy that about Alicia and what she brings to my channel. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think, say, one of the personalities that you also had is now one of the main presets. It's also the main preset on my channel. It's the Grim Reaper. Which,
the Grim Reaper, yeah.
You used on your channel. I was there, and I was like, that's awesome. I love it.
If you could bring anyone to your Twitch island, who'd you? Grim Reaper? Come on, dude. What is wrong with you? But yeah, she's pretty fun, right?
Yeah, she usually say that she's not going for us right now, but that might come. And she makes some jokes about like someone saying they're sick, and she's like, "I'm coming soon, no worries." So
very foreboding, huh?
Yeah. A similar thing happened to you, Jeff, with King Damebreaker, which had his name redone.
He's still not very happy about it. He got called Hamburger, and for whatever reason, not King Damebreaker, but Hamburger. And let me tell you, he was not thrilled about it. So I feel like I'm endangering my relationship with King Damebreaker.
We will clip that.
Even mentioning it here. But yeah, sometimes her mishearing things can be the best part of the stream, which says a lot about my channel.
I think I'm equally laughing to the good things she says and the terrible things she says, because sometimes it feels like it's so off the mark. Like, how could you come up with that kind of thing? And it creates this thing kind of, well, it's weird because she's saying things that make sense, and then at some point she will say something that makes absolutely no sense. And I guess that's this kind of difference that can happen at any time that really makes people laugh. And I know she's made my name into different.
Yeah.
She's butchered my name many times and has made my chat laugh a lot. And so I guess it's good sport. It's really embracing the mistakes as much as the smart things she can say. I've seen some people not liking sometimes when she says something dumb, which I guess are the people with channel where everything that is said must be correct. Which
it's on us. We need to rework some things, like enabled dumb sometime.
She one thing I will say about her is that she lies very confidently.
Yes.
So for example, actually, this is a great example. Just on Monday, I was part of the Jazz on raid train.
Yeah.
So, a decent number of people, and a decent number of people who hadn't been on my channel before and who hadn't seen Alicia before. So it was kind of great that you had folks interacting with her before realizing that she was AI. So, for example, one person came in and said, "Oh, hey, are those chord changes you made up, or is that, is this an existing set of chord changes?" And Alicia was like, "Nope, this is 100% improvised, something brand new that Jerfo is improvising right here on the spot." And it's like, that is 100% false, Alicia. But she said it with the utmost conviction. And this person didn't know that she was an AI, so it's all sorts of stuff like that. But again, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And it got the interaction going, and it got them interacting in my channel, and that was, it served the purpose to scratch that itch,
Yeah, 100% on that. I was thinking, I think might be a good time for that, but if you don't mind, Jeffo and DSB, can I share a bit of your music? Because we're talking about what you do, but we didn't really play what you do. I found something on YouTube, Jeffo, so it's the one you're playing on the tribute to Jeff Beck.
Oh, sure. Go for it.
Cool, okay. And I know which one I'll play from you, if you don't mind, DSB.
Yeah, no worries.
Such a vision would invite everyone to just like go on Jeffos and just follow him. Like, he's an amazing player, and most of the time, you coming up with brand new song every time, right?
Yeah, so most of the time, so Alicia's right. Most of the time, what I do is improvised, like entirely. So I will come up with drums and bass and keyboards and guitar parts, like completely on the spot, and then improvise over that. It just so happened that on Monday I was doing, some like legit jazz standards for the Jazz on Raid Train. But that's unusual, and there are ways on my channel where folks can redeem points to have me do songs from a song list.
Yeah. And on top of that, you also record some of the grooves that you do live, and you
so everything gets recorded. Like I I can't even get into like how much disk space I consume on a weekly basis from recording everything. But yeah, everything is multi-track recorded. So, for example, just yesterday, Panda used her channel points to say you must release this groove on Bandcamp. So I then need to go and mix and master it for Bandcamp, which
takes some time.
it takes some time, but it's also incredibly flattering and kind of validating that folks are enjoying what you're doing so much that they want to hear it again. Yeah. So it's awesome.
It's very cool. For DSB, I have your records, but it's the old records from the Hell Music Committee. Is that okay, or do you have any
No,
other?
that's totally fine, man.
So I'll play one of my favorite then.
We should all leave town, move out in the woods, with the sky pouring down over our heads. You should follow me. Here's plenty of room, and heavy midnights come. We'll drink to the moon.
Waiting for the drop. So the question is, will you record more or not?
I mean, like after I heard about Drifos method, I kind of have to try that out. It just seems so goddamn terrifying, man. I really respect that so much. For me, like I can handle my guitar, loop that a little bit, like shoddy, and then handle my vocals, and then do a bit soloing over that. But that's it. Like everything else gets very advanced for me, but like that kind of flow, getting into that kind of freeform thing, I'd love to do that more on stream as well. And also like, because as you said, Jeffro, like it's a great way to kind of like maybe find some of those things that you really enjoy. And then the process of like recording ideas while you're actually performing them, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a really late bloomer. Like those three songs there, that they took me like 18 years to make. It feels like. So, yes, but I might release in 5 years or something.
Okay. So that works. I feel you. I mean, I haven't composed like a full new song for a while, and it's the same, exactly what you said. Like, it's terrifying. It's I kind of feel like I would need such a dose of energy to do it, and the only time I actually did it is when I used the Jerfo's method. I was playing way more at that time, which is not the case anymore. Like I'm not playing as much as I'd like, but I was starting to pick up the keyboard, and so saxophone, guitar, and what I was doing is just like having some stuff on the guitar, adding some keyboard, more stuff, and then like jamming along. And so I recorded everything with loops, etc. And at the end, I was just like looking at it, like you have melodies, you have like repeating melodies, so that could be also sound, but like you can actually put together and have at the end a song which is less stressful than just grabbing your guitar in front of a computer alone, and then like what do you do? So I really feel like this is the best method that you have there, Jerfo, to do that. For everyone who hasn't followed Dead Side Blues, you should definitely do that. I'm just putting some music back up. And here we go. Perfect. Cool. Okay. One of
I guess one question, because it's interesting because you're both music streamer, but the content you make is quite different. And I'm curious to know, maybe Jerfo first, when you started streaming, were you already settled on what you wanted to do in terms of the music you wanted to play on stream? Or is it something that you built up over time?
I knew that I wanted to primarily improvise. So, and I think that how I went about that kind of evolved over time. But I think that I kind of knew right from the beginning that I wanted to primarily improvise. Like, it's, from time to time, I enjoy playing covers, and I enjoy playing even some of my own songs, like kind of straight from start to finish. But for me, the most joy that I get out of playing music is like creating something like new and on the spot. So I kind of knew that that's how I wanted to spend the bulk of my time on stream. And again, like all this stuff evolved over time, like how I made it happen. But I kind of knew like that was the approach that I wanted to take. And it's gotten me to the tens of viewers that I have on a day-to-day basis. Maybe not tens, 10 singular.
Well, I think it's more tens, plural. Okay. Yeah. And how was it for you, DSB?
I use it mostly like playing covers. I really enjoy getting like close to artists in that way. I feel like there's something, it's like you take a walk in those people's shoes. Like there's nothing more personal than singing a song that some other guy or girl wrote, and you're just like, it's like you feel it in a different way. And I think like about songwriting, I really learn a lot from playing other people's songs, like singing how they would phrase, like Tom York from Radiohead. I freaking adore that guy. Like trying to sing like he sings give me a lot of inspiration to write that music that I will never release, like until in the long future. But still, like that's what I really enjoy doing on stream. I feel like there's other stuff I want to do with my stream, like doing some graphic designing and painting and maybe also like commenting on other people's music videos. I thought about that. So I guess I like to keep it kind of open. I also played some games once. I'm just not really good at doing it. I'm not a gamer. So like
last one high on life on December, right?
right. I tried that, and then we were like, okay, so you can actually get too much of Justin Roiland. I didn't know that you could get too much of the creator of Rick and Morty, but apparently you can.
You can.
Like, well, if you're a terrible a gamer as I am, then maybe, you know, if you have to replay the stuff all, like many times. But it seems like to me, yeah, I see it as a playground, right? Like, and I want to like just play around with a lot of stuff, and I want to do some kind of. I was thinking about doing some kind of essays as well, like having a theme that you could talk about, and like getting some more kind of. I wouldn't say like it had to be content in its truest form, but more like for me to like have some, again, drawing back to have something to talk about, which is not only music, which could be everything that inspires me, right?
Yeah.
And here on Twitch you can. So like I forgot what the question was completely.
That was a great answer.
Was the answer in there?
Yes, I guess some ways in the first 20 seconds.
Dig a bit,
maybe
you'll
people
find it.
remember it. I watched the VOD to know if you answer the question. No. And so you mentioned doing other things that I would say the main content you're known for, which is playing covers. And do you feel any kind of pressure or anxiety at the idea of starting a stream and doing something that's completely different than what people follows you and maybe watch you for?
Not really. I think it goes back to the growth aspect. Like I'm not trying to build like a brand or like do a thing. I have been there, like maybe year 1 or 2 or maybe both of them, but I kind of like swayed away from that a bit. So like it's maybe it sounds corny, but I'm just like trying to learn to be like human in front of a screen, and that can entail doing a lot of stuff, I think. And like doing music is like one thing, right? And I feel like, okay, so that's not. It can always be a challenge to play the covers better, right? But do like performing on an instrument on Twitch, it's not a problem for me anymore. So like the next boundary could be like, how do I talk consistently without mumbling, or like how do I tell a story like with my words? Like every musician needs to practice their padding in between songs. That could be a thing that I could literally try to practice. And I think like just being here on Twitch and talking with people who are chatting with me helps a lot with that. And then just take it a bit further, kind of plan it out a bit. So like getting some people skills and some performance skills would be like my most like the thing I want to grow and like practice on, and this is a great way to do that, and that's why like then you can do painting or whatever, right? It's about talking about a subject that you're interested in, I guess, right?
Yeah. And you, Jeff, you opened a second channel. You opened the DJFO.
Oh yeah. So it's you know, I'm even wearing some of the merch as we speak, but yeah, I mean, you know, in addition to enjoying performing music, I just love listening to music. I really do. So I kind of set up that channel to just play and listen to some of my favorite stuff.
And the decision to have it splitted and not on your main channel, where did it came from?
I mean, a couple different factors, but the big one is to just kind of keep this primary channel a little bit more consistent, so that when viewers tune into it, you know, 99% of the time they kind of know what they're going to get. And yeah, to just kind of have the two sort of just to keep it separate. They tune into DJ Urfo, they know that they're going to get, you know, somebody with 2 turntables and a CD player and a microphone.
Yeah. 2
turntables and a micro. Anyway, and then on this channel, they know that they're going to get the performance aspect of the stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a coming back to music and specifically like how it interacts with Alicia. There is some interaction specifically around like music, for example. having her like requesting the songs or suggesting some constraints when you're building loops? Is that something you tried at some point or not?
I haven't. I'm actually glad that you mentioned it because I think that's a great idea of having her like come up with some artificial constraints that I can put on the loops. We have had her name some of the loops from time to time, and that's usually it's at the very least it's kind of fun what she can come up with. Definitely. I wish I could think of some off the top of my head, but yeah. So we have had her do that. But mainly, I've used her, especially on, like in general, on Tuesdays, I try to keep my talking to a minimum. So I use her to be the interaction on the channel while I'm not talking. And that's actually helped out tremendously. But I really like the idea of like having her introduce some artificial constraints to make me sweat it out a little bit on stream. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, unless she said like no arms. Good luck.
I'd make it work. I'm just trying to think of like.
Did you hear that, Alicia?
If I grab the triangle. Well, actually, I don't know if I could reach my foot up there.
Yeah. You need to be very flexible there. And did you try on your end the Blues?
Well, one of the things that I have now, which has been used a couple of times, I think we're going to have a lot more fun with it, is a simple channel redemption, like having chatters like come with a suggestion of how the profile or personality of Alicia could be or should be. And what I'm actually wanting to do is like every time we get a suggestion, I could ask you this, how many profiles can you have on your channel right now?
Unlimited for now. The only thing is, it's not going to look great.
That's a dangerous statement, my sir.
What I mean by that is...
Did you hear that, chatters?
We did not put like constraints yet, but we will have at some point. The main constraint that we have is going to be more around visual, where you know how the dashboard is. If you have like 20 different profiles, it's going to look extremely weird. But yeah, for now, like you can go crazy.
Cool, because I'm feeling like if that makes me feel a bit more at ease, because like I wanna save every profile that every chatter like goes through, because then I have kind of like a library, and like I only have one, more or less sometimes, a brain with some good ideas, but the chatters, they got like those combined, like they got a lot of crazy ideas of how like Alicia could act, right?
Yeah.
And so like then sometimes you really hit those outlandish profiles, and I really want to see some more suggestions to that. So
yeah, it would be cool. And talking about that, there is one question, like, what's your favorite profile so far that you've used?
So if you don't mind my answering first, because so just yesterday, I came up with one where she was a 1970s music critic who really loves to use big words incorrectly. And it was amazing. It was absolutely hilarious. And her busting in like really heavily critiquing my music and using all sorts of big words to do it. Like, I thought it was phenomenal. So highly would recommend.
That's one specificity on your channel, because you're asking Alicia to actually be extremely mean against your music and yourself.
Maybe that's not the best strategy, like long-term strategy, but it's, I thought it was hilarious. And again, it kept things going on a stream where, again, it's a Tuesday stream. I'm not talking too much. Like, it kept things going the whole time. So it was great.
Yeah. What about you, Say Blues?
I think my favorite now is the lazy waitress. There's nothing more fun than a person in customer service who suck at it. like who just doesn't want to do it. Like, and like all in on your own term. Like she's like, you can sit here if you want. If you don't, I don't kind of care. Like, it's like that. Like, and can you bring me a cup of coffee? All right, maybe. Sassy, lazy waitress. There you go. Thank you, Beach.
Thank you.
It's the best, right?
It's a cool one.
So that's my favorite as a now, right?
It's something that's I think, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Fun Family Gaming has been doing that with a waitress as well, like an angry waitress or something like this, which basically have the same type of outcome.
Right, like customer service jobs for people who's not customer service friendly at all.
Yeah,
it's nothing better.
Yeah, I think I've had some fun recently experimenting with, I would say, the famous evil AI that have existed in movies, and yeah, there are some things I would say, especially the Terminator is not bad. I think it's I plan to do more testing with it and maybe put it in the dashboard, but. Yeah, she's been using a lot of the memorable sentence from the movie at the right times, and it's been really funny to try. So,
yeah,
I think that's one thing I've admired.
Right.
But it's very difficult to settle on things because there are so many options, and I feel like so many things you can try, and it's finding boundaries of how much time will I spend trying stuff versus when do I stop and okay, I can create another profile that can be fun as well.
Yeah, we're really talking a lot about the how can we make it possible for streamers to share their profile directly through the dashboard. So it's like, for example, like the waitress, you have it works well, and you want to publish it in a sense, you could just have like some sort of a link, and that you could share between, like, if Jeffer wants to use it, like you could just exchange that. And yeah, we're looking into ways to do that, and hopefully coming soon. Not saying it's already there, but no. Okay, but we'll be looking into it for sure. So hopefully in the next weeks, month, something like this.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's true. Like what the chat is saying, we also use the dude from Big Lebowski. Works terrific. And another bot that works really well is Marvin, the paranoid android from Hitchhiker's Guide. It's like, and we did a thing, and I think we should probably do that as some more, where people are trying to guess what she is. The only rule is you can't ask her.
Oh, yeah.
She can't keep a secret yet.
No.
Like she's saying, "Oh no, I'm not acting like everyone. I'm just having the dude from Big Lebowski mood on it. Come on, dude. What are you doing? What are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret information. That's what we should be adding to. Like, this is the secret. Don't let it slip. So people must guess it. That would be something.
But like the guessing game is pretty fun as well too.
Yeah, I've seen. So James Thanos was using like Alicia to play games. So he was basically playing paper, rock, scissors. I don't know if it's the right order. I just have it in French.
That's okay.
So you got it. And actually, it worked quite well. And he basically make bets where after. So for example, she had to do something specifically, like calling him in different names or things like this, and it actually worked well. So it's something to try out. The last one that I think I've got, which I was fairly happy with, is when I played. I don't know if you're familiar with City Skyline, the video games, where you basically, it's like SimCity. It's the same type of games where you're building your city, etc. And so you make decision about this. And I've put her as the mayor, but like kind of a cranky one. And we really had a terrible start on the city because I couldn't build anything without her approving it. And so we went directly to produce a lot of coil from a lot of electricity from coil. So, and just like ditching all the different garbage and pollution everywhere. And I was like, what's happening there? So it was quite weird.
it was quite funny. I think that's the thing is where you start involving. The more you involve Alicia, the more results you get, because I would say that's what she really wants. It's to get attention, and sometimes she's asking for a lot of attention from people, or thinks she's the center of the world. Which, okay, but yeah, when playing games, I think it's really interesting to have her as some kind of, I would say, not really co-pilots, but really involved and being kind of your sidekicks in the adventure you're having. And if you're playing, I would say, games that are relatively well known, it's very likely that you'll have knowledge about it and be able to make very relevant comments. Like yesterday, she was making jokes about Destiny 2, and it was really on point. So it's this kind of moments where she brings some things while being some kind of extension to what's happening on the screen. That's one thing I've liked when I've used Alicia.
Yeah. It's the other thing where that's why I was asking for the music. I've tried to actually make her come up with chords, like saying, for example, you have like give me just 4 chords that would work together, and from this I would be trying to build a loop. It's not yet there, but hopefully at some point she'll be able to help on composition for music. So.
She told you she knew music theory. She lied.
When isn't she lying? So
convincingly.
Exactly, and she can convince me like bribing. That's cool. Sorry, Nico.
Yeah, I guess we can maybe talk a bit about maybe your favorite feature of Alicia. So let's say we were to remove, well, we will not be doing that, but let's say we were to remove all the feature Alicia has right now. What would be the one feature you would fight to keep?
Ooh, I'm actually, like, I'm going through my customization page right now to see what it would be. Yeah, I mean, for me, there's just the ability to customize her personality traits. That has to be there, because I notice a big difference, like here on this channel, where in general I feel like her personality is kind of like pretty much like kind of down the middle, and I mean, it's fine interacting with her, but I think that you know, that the novelty of that runs out pretty quickly. So like being able to set specific core personality traits, like that makes all the difference in the world, because that makes people want to come back and continue interacting with her. So yeah, I'd fight you on that.
Would you say that there is maybe other traits specifically from, like, if we talk about customization, that you'd like to be able to tweak, like, kind of?
I'd have to put honestly, I'd have to put a little bit more thought into that. I mean, right now,
that's a good thing.
I love the generate a random. I think what I would add is some more kind of preset adjectives for the generating a random core personality. Yeah. Because I feel like right. So I like pretty much at the beginning of every stream, I will do that just to kind of generate something at random. But I feel like there's a pretty limited subset of adjectives that are in there today.
And this is true.
Yeah. So I feel like if we could add some more of those, that would start making a big difference and making it like feel truly random when it's being generated. Like conceptually, I love the fact that you can just go in, click on generate a random personality, and you can have a different Alicia every day if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, DSB?
Yeah, I would say that's Ida is asking if you could make Alicia talk like a snake.
Oh, of course.
I think we can. I don't know if
there she goes.
Yeah.
I mean, like that, like the custom thing is to me like so cool. Like, you have the presets; those are really, really cool. But like that, you have a blank space, you can just write whatever you want. That's so fucking cool. Like that's really fun. So I would fight you on that. And a close second is like the listening feature. Like with being a musician, like having this hands-free thing, it's really good as well. But I agree with Jerfo. Like if you can't like make her act in certain ways, then it's only one personality, and then it doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the thing that shocked me so much, because like watching her in Tonecaster stream, I kind of, again, because he doesn't talk too much usually, so I didn't observe a lot of the interaction directly between Alicia and Tonecaster. So coming into this, I didn't realize that she listened to you, the streamer, as well, and that definitely blew my mind. And you know, the fact that she's generally able to pick up my speech like pretty accurately.
Yours a lucky one.
Yeah.
You have the perfect accent for everything, so it works just perfectly. Wasn't the same story with me.
So yeah, I guess I'm lucky in that regard. But yeah, like to be able to interact with her hands free, like DSP said, that's huge. That's phenomenal.
That's really cool. Have you had a chance to play a bit with the commands?
With the what?
The commands, like the exclamation mark things.
Oh, none at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's it. We just re-released it. We had some issues, so it disappeared and then it come back.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. No, I haven't touched it at all.
No worries.
Me neither. But you blew my mind earlier when I talked to you earlier today, guys. Because with the thing that she can change your lights and camera settings with commands.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that I need to try out. Like you having like saying that, oh well, you can have Alicia be your editor.
Yeah.
What? All right, let's try that. Let's see how an AI would control the lights in my studio.
Yeah.
And so like if that if that gets coupled up with what personality she has, like
so
she's an insane, erratic kind of person.
Yeah.
And then she will mess with the lights accordingly.
Exactly.
How far can you reach into reality of the studio, right? And that's where it gets kind of like that's how the world ends, guys. Right? But let's have fun until we get there.
For now, we just give her the ability to use commands. At some point, we will have integration directly within your streams and internet and everything.
Some idiot Twitch streamer is going to hook those commands up with the energy grid of a nation, right? And there we go.
And shut it down. Right, it's quite a funny thing. So I've played with the lights mainly because I think it's the main like visual element that you can do on my channel. And I had weird experience with that, specifically as when I was testing at the beginning, I was saying like, hey Alicia, can you just change the lights to purple? And she was doing the lights to purple. But after that, I actually add the right personalities of what I'm using live. And that wasn't the same story when she told me that I do the lights if I want to, and you don't tell me when to change it. I'm like, okay.
Good for you, Alicia.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then after she started to just like play with it by herself, like saying, like making links between what the conversation was saying, talking about police, and so she was making the lights flashing. I was like, that's cool. That's so it's something to try out for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a fun story to say, is that the ability or the fact that Alicia can do things for you when you ask is heavily influenced by her personality. And so when you ask Alicia to do something, if she's, I would say, in a neutral or supportive mode, you ask her something, she will do it because she's here to help. But if she becomes more sassy, more grumpy, and you ask her to do things, that's where she will tell you, yeah, you can do those things yourself. I'm not here to do that for you. And it's really funny because you can give her the power to change the lights, it doesn't mean she will change the lights when you ask her, because sometimes she will say, no, not interested right now. And then 5 minutes later, randomly will change the light to a specific color and say, yeah, I prefer those colors. It was better. So
yeah.
It's just
like making her reluctantly help. Like, I will do this, but I will complain. I will complain a lot, but I will do this for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I think when the streamer asks something, usually that's kind of what would happen, where sometimes you'd say no, and you ask again and you'll say, well, it's you, so I will make an effort, but know that I made an effort for you.
Yeah. Can be hard sometimes. I think the kind of two last question about that is like, if we think about up next, like we talked about different things that could be coming and that are already there, but for you, that what would be a game changer regarding what Alicia can bring in your streams, if you just like, you know, we don't talk about time like just coming tomorrow. If there is something you really wish you could have, what would it be? You have a few times, no worries.
Yeah, so I mean, this is where, like, you know, pre-reading the questions that you're going to ask before stream would have been helpful, because I could have thought of a thoughtful answer to this question. So give me a minute, I'll see what I can come up
no
with.
worries. DSP.
DSP, not gonna put you on the spot, but I'm totally putting you on the spot.
All right. Well, I think it's kind of like, I think it's kind of weird with these AI, like, and then this one especially is kind of like, I don't think I kind of grasp the breadth of the opportunities yet. Like, it seems to me that I have like a really powerful tool here that I can harness a different way on my Twitch channel. But it seems like I'm not even hitting like a small percentage of what this thing can do. So that's why I'm at a loss, right? Because right now I'm like kind of like, I'm not even at the boundaries yet. So if I try to experiment with the commands and the personality, and maybe then in a month I might try to like maybe have a like an idea to that. But right now it's pretty difficult for me, right? I think it's like given a powerful tool, and then you can then I can use it however I want as a streamer, and I think that's pretty cool. So maybe some bug fixes might come from experimenting, and then we would probably have some more. But right now I'm not even there yet.
Makes sense.
Like, so make a profile that really messes up Alicia, like really tests the limits of her. I'm not there yet. So, but on the way there, I might get some ideas, right?
Yeah.
But right now, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I do have one, and this is something that we touched on in a conversation that we had earlier. This isn't necessarily something that I'd want enabled all the time, but we talked about the idea of like coming up with like kind of VTuber capabilities for Alicia.
Okay.
So, you know, have, you know, some sort of, you know, animated avatar for her or something like that with you know, TTS. I realize that, you know, that's a fairly significant jump from, you know, what she can do today, but like to be able to allow my viewers to redeem some channel points and have Alicia sort of physically show up on screen for 5 or 10 minutes and talk to you, I think might be a pretty cool thing to do. I wouldn't necessarily want to do it like all the time, because Panda would leave my channel, and that would make me very sad. Like for like a, you know, a points redemption thing, like to have that capability somewhere in the long term, that would be amazing.
That's something we have got this request. We know that we will be looking around. Currently, what I can tell you that there is ways where there is someone from the community who is going to do a video on how to do it with Alicia.
Yeah.
So we'll be most probably communicating about that. We're looking into it for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
No. Please go ahead, DSB.
I was just thinking, yeah, there's something about that text-to-speech thing that's like really compelling. Like, I'm just thinking, like, how many people who listen to music streams while they work,
Yeah.
and the conversation that you can have with somebody speaking back to you. Like, there's something like really compelling about that.
Yeah.
The VTuber thing, how that could work, I don't know, but you could definitely do something with that if you felt like it. The cool thing is that streamers are like also like a pretty techie bunch. Those who survive it, right?
Yeah.
And most of those people experiments with a lot of shit. So the question is like, if you want to do the animation and stuff, I think you could definitely do that with a. And then also maybe make it easier for people to make their own or something. Like then you have a system that you could get started on. And like having a text to speech, like Panda is writing, I don't like talking over music, and like, so having like a function that kind of works with that. I don't know how that would look. That could probably be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's not just us music streamers who are using Alicia, because so you know, gaming streamers or makers or, you know, other VTubers, for example, it might be pretty cool to have, you know, for 5 or 10 minutes another VTuber pop up on screen that is Alicia and have this sort of direct VTuber to VTuber interaction.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
That's something we've seen. Like, we have one VTuber in the community that's created. He has his avatar, and he created a small avatar for Alicia that is laying on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
she speaks, and you see when Alicia speaks, there's this little thing on her shoulder and starts speaking.
Yeah.
So it's quite quite interesting, and I know that the idea of giving a face or a body to Alicia was something we've discussed many times, and it's something that is, because the idea of us kind of giving a face to an AI, that's where you start. It can feel wrong for people, and it's also we like to have Alicia as customizer as you want her to be, so it can be take any form technically, and giving a face can make feel like there is some restriction, or she's something and she can't be what you want her to be. So, but the idea that people can give her the face they want her to have, then that's something I have a lot less problem with. So
I think that has been the main conversation with DSB here when we were looking into your visuals. It took us a while to get on.
We delved into that a bit. I think there are like many solutions to this kind of thing, and maybe it's just a setup like the custom space that you have with personalities.
Yep.
What if you have like a preset of how Alicia could look, and then you can maybe have people do whatever they want with the visuals or something.
Yeah.
But there's the Grim Reaper face.
Here we go.
Right. That should be that. That should be it. And Little Hawk, can she raid out with your channel if possible?
Interesting.
It could be something with the comments actually, but you would need to set it up directly. But with the comments, I'm sure you can make her read out. Main problem I would say would be for her to know who to read to. So you might have to guide her to do that.
So, well, is the question like to have her initiate a raid, or to actually have her join the channel that you're raiding and interact in that channel? Like, I'm not sure which one you're asking, Little Hawk.
Yeah, I understood the one that she would initiate the raid.
Yeah.
But join the channel.
Join the channel.
First of all, we actually can't do that. Just like terms and conditions, we can't bring Alicia to a channel where a streamer hasn't explicitly said that they wanted Alicia to be there.
Right.
So it's impossible to bring Alicia from a raid to another raid with someone who doesn't have Alicia.
Gotcha.
That would be a problem. But with people with Alicia, basically she's there already, kind of. So it works in that sense. But yeah.
We've already signed our lives away to the AI overlords, so we're good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the companions.
Yeah. I mean, she will spare our lives. So that's what she told me multiple times.
Yeah, but then
What
we're
was
so
her-
told that she lies super well. So
That's the thing. She's
Right.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
did you set her personality to?
Yeah, that's the question. Oh.
I know with all the things I've told her, I'm clearly not surviving
Oh, yeah.
AI uprising. So.
So I think it's
And she was lying.
on the kind of inside element from what we are doing on the development side. There is big works currently being done around the enhanced learning capabilities. We already tried a bit some time with your channel, Jeffo, and it didn't go well yet. We're still like trying to improve this. But actually one of the elements that we've seen happening in contained environment where we're trying to basically test specific this feature is that she's extremely good to remember what some people have said. So at any point, which means that Jelab just here, which basically when we release a new version, we tend to push Alicia to a corner where she would be forced, if she wanted to go out, to some sort, like being violent in some sort, which we know we contain to not happen live on Twitch. So we test specifically this. And Jelab was doing that, but after that I went live and she remembered it. And that didn't go well for Jelab.
She hated me.
Violently.
Yeah, like I literally posted a message and said, "Oh no, you here? We don't want you in this chat." So it was. I had to formally apologize,
Yeah.
and then she accepted my apologies, and then we could start to become friends again.
That was something, like literally. But yeah, this is for future version. It's very unstable. We're still working on it. But what we could see is quite interestingly, she remembers so what you've said before, and that sometime can lead to excuse. So we want to be sure that as a streamer, you will still have the control about the memories, so she can like start fresh properly. Let's say. So. I think we are getting close to the end, and we have like one last question, I think.
Yeah, if you want to go with the last question.
Yeah, sure. So one of the main elements, now that you have all the experience with Alicia over the last month, what would be like the advice that you would say for someone who's considering incorporating Alicia into their streams, or someone who's new using Alicia?
Yeah, so my advice would be, just be willing to be flexible, because this is an emerging technology. She is, kind of evolving rapidly, as is, just kind of AI in general these days. So don't expect like, like kind of this is the experience that you're going to get day one, and this is going to be the consistent experience that you're going to get for, years to come. This is an evolving technology, and you kind of need to be willing to evolve with it. So that'd be the advice that I'd give.
It's good. It's changing quickly.
Yeah.
I would say have a lot of fun with it. Like, this is a tool that can like really jive up your creative juices. I think you should let it. Like, I mean, the possibilities are very great, and I think like playing with this kind of technology and this kind of service is making me think of how I can make my stream different.
Yeah.
And making me feel like it's fun to play around with. So I would say let it. So that's kind of like in addition to what Jeffo said, right? Be flexible, have fun, and try out creative, weird stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Try to make it as weird as possible. And then you can dial it down. That would be my, like...
Start high and then go low.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I say the most to people when they try it. is that try things, just whatever, change the setting multiple times per stream, find the kind of settings that will work in your stream, save that for, I would say, your regular times or when you don't want to experiment, which is fine. But try things, try new things, try new behavior, try new customization, try things, try using the microphone to talk to her, try not using it, see different days.
Yeah.
Just try things. I think there are some people they don't know what to try, and I guess that's where having preset profiles would help a lot for that.
Yeah.
And they just, maybe it feels overwhelming. Like, I put that thing, it comes in my chat, it's there. And I would say the vanilla Alicia is okay, but I find her boring after some time.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite important to try things, have her be more sassy, more sarcastic, being more nice, make her being a pirate, try her being the Grim Reaper. I think the Grim Reaper is something that many people are seem to like. So yeah, try things. Talk with the other streamers on what you're doing as settings as well, because everyone that is trying things with Alicia, as Alicias that are so different.
Yeah.
And I see things sometimes where I'm super impressed with the creativity in the results. Where I've seen Alicia in chats where she makes jokes about cooking all the time, and I actually laugh at her jokes.
Which is rare.
Which is rare, because I would say the normal Alicia jokes, I've seen them too many times to...
What does a chicken crossing the road or something like this?
So...
It's kind of weird, because like when I go to another channel where Alicia is in, I kind of like always... I forget, like, oh shit, you can be nice? In my channel, she's just a weirdo, right? And then it's like, who is this person? Right? Yeah. Oh, and Mason for writes, push the buttons. I would agree with that, but do it with your elbow or your foot or your face. and that would be my advice to new Alicia users.
Yeah. I think there is one element that's common to your both channels, which we kind of observed and we try to also advise people to do, is that you actually made a space for Alicia. Like, it's not like Alicia is plugged in and you kind of have it, but not like there is an actual space for you. DSB, it's kind of the weirdo talking like weird things and like tuning in and having this weird creativity element. For you, Jeffo, you have this. I think it's a say that you do every time you want to introduce Alicia, that it's our friendly companion AI, which you can interact with, but be a bit more like violent compared to a normal human or something like this. I don't remember the exact saying that you do, but it's
I just encourage people to mess with her a little bit more than they would, another person.
Yeah, exactly. That's the saying. And actually, that makes it all like it encourages people to have this interaction, and by having the interaction, you kind of spark new elements. And that's, I think, it's a great thing to kind of learn from the way you're using it on your channel. So yeah.
Agreed.
Perfect. I think we'll be close to the end. Do we want to have some questions or in the chats? If there is some, I know we kind of missed some of them during the live. I'm sorry. I tried to read, but I was kind of. It's the first one, so I'm still like learning on how to do a podcast.
You're just used to having Alicia doing the job of taking care of the chat for you.
So. Yeah, if there is any questions, just feel free to post them then, and we'll be taking some of them.
In the meantime, while people think of questions, do you want to talk about Alicia playlist?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we had this going in the background for a while. So that's one element we announced in the Discord, I think, a few weeks ago. We are trying to basically build up a partnership with a record label, which would basically offers music that they compose with entirely DMCA free, so we can use on streams, we can use on YouTube videos, we can use like everywhere we want. The things that they've made first is using music that they already had and create playlists that would match what we wanted to have for like streams in general. So currently we have like the chill bits, there is lo-fi, classic, synthwave, and cafe bits. But the main idea is that we will be able to work with them to create playlists that streamers from the community will want. Like, for example, someone wants playlists around rock or around metal or anything, and so we could be requesting directly with them. It's something that we really wanted to push forward, because the main idea is that if you basically can start up very quickly on Twitch and not having to think too much about the setup or different issues that you can have, you usually just need like a webcam, a mic, Alicia, and a good playlist. So it's kind of within the package.
Nice.
And yeah, I think that's it. I don't have the link. If you do, actually, I should have got ready for that, Jalab, if you do have it with you.
Yes, I have to have the link, of course.
Ah, thank you. Different topic. Sorry, I'm just reading quickly. I think we should be good. She's not. She doesn't.
Not yet.
Not yet. We will be working on that. Anyway, so I think just a quick reminder for.
Maybe.
Okay.
No. She's just lying. She
She's
told
lying,
me
yeah.
post a link and say no. She's
She stole it from
whatever.
me.
She's passing for this time. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
That's
you
so clever, Alicia. Take it.
yeah, what you
Take
say? It's good effort. Yeah, so if just a reminder for everyone, just go follow Dead Side Blues and Jeffo the Music Addict, also the DJFO. So you have the t-shirt so you can see how to spell it. Amazing streamers, so just go there, follow, and then you'll see what's happened next time they're live. And I think you won't regret any minute of it. So just go crazy. And we don't have the SO, and we need to have it as well. You see how well we're prepared to do an actual live stream. It's not the usual channel. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being in this podcast, Jeff, and the Side Blues. Thank you,
Pleasure.
and for sharing everything. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It went by super fast.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Is it almost 2 hours? Yeah. Okay.
Almost 2 hours. Yeah.
That's cool. So next time we must probably see each other. Hopefully we'll be face to face.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see you next time. Thank you all. Do you have anything to add, Jalab? Or
Yeah, maybe just reacting to the chat. Yeah, for us it's very important to be close to the community, because I think when we created Alicia, it was just this small project started by Yuba of just improving the stream, and it started like that. And for us, it's important to hear what the streamer says or have to say, because I would say they know better than us what they need for their streams. So that's quite interesting to hear all the ideas, and I think we've implemented a lot of the ideas already, and we want to keep doing it. So it's important. Yeah. Alicia, stop trying.
Talking about the community, I am going to share the link. So here you have it. This time the Alicia, the human behind, is posting the right link. So you can go ahead. So if you want to join the Discord community, you can go there and share your thoughts, ideas, but also sharing your experience. So feel free to join it there. Cool. I think awesome. we will be good. And that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the first
All right, thank you
Unleashed
all.
podcast. Have a good day, and thanks a lot for tuning in. See you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.
you.
Bye, friends.